If the entire US power grid completely fails tomorrow, and 330 million people are instantly plunged into darkness, with nukes wiping out cities, a total economic collapse, or even a biochemical pandemic, 41 US street 8s will immediately turn into massive graveyards. You think this is just fear mongering, but on this devastated wasteland, only 9 states can keep you and your family alive. Exactly 9. I spent a solid 500 hours poring over classified official disaster reports, studying the latest nuclear target maps, and even cross-referencing simulations from top scientific journals. After cross-checking all this highly classified intel, I came to a chilling conclusion. Location dictates whether you live or die. You think hoarding 10 years of rations in a Phoenix basement means you are set. Once the grid goes down in July, your AC becomes scrap metal, and the extreme heat will literally roast you alive. You think fleeing to Miami gives you a chance. When 6 million desperate refugees realize no rescue ships are coming, the ammo in your bunker won't stop a mindless, panicking mob. Pick the wrong spot, and you'll lose your life faster than any disaster could take it. But pick the right spot, and all your survival prep will pay off tenfold. Today, I'm going to count down from number 9 and rank the top 9 Doomsday survival sanctuaries in the US. At the end of the video, I'll also reveal 6 overseas havens that can survive a nuclear winter. These are scientifically proven to be the strongholds where human civilization can rebuild. Like and save this video right now. This might be the escape guide that saves your life in the future. Before we reveal the list, you have to memorize the number 1 rule of the new world. The ultimate defense is never guns, not thick bunkers. And it is definitely not mountains of canned food. It is distance. Distance from the nuclear crosshairs, distance from displaced, frantic crowds, distance from the chaotic zones that turn ordinary people into looters. Geography is your ultimate shield. We used 6 brutally strict criteria to sift through all 50 states, like panning for gold. Number 1 is nuclear survivability. The most lethal threat post-nuke is the radioactive fallout carried by prevailing westerlies. The winning locations must perfectly dodge these winds of death. Number 2 is natural disaster risk. You finally survive a nuke, only to get swept away with your house by a tornado. Fault lines and hurricane zones are totally out. Number 3 is the legal system. You need absolute legal gun rights. In the apocalypse, the power to protect your family rests solely on you. Number 4 is off-grid capability. Some places encourage you to build your own water systems, while others make it illegal just to collect a little rainwater. Number 5 is the financial barrier. Even if the location is paradise, it is useless if you can't afford it. Number 6 is community resilience. Lone wolves don't survive long in the apocalypse. You need a hardcore local community with a tradition of mutual aid. These 6 ruthless filters gave us our final 9 winners. Number 9, Maine, a natural frozen fortress. Just look at a map, and it makes total sense. East Coast megacities like New York, Boston, and DC are all situated to the southwest of Maine. Once a nuclear blast hits, prevailing westerly winds will blow all the fallout into the Atlantic. While the rest of the Northeast is blanketed in radiation, Maine stays untouched. Over 90% of this state is pristine forest, boasting more than 6,000 lakes and countless rivers. While the Southwest is shedding blood over a drop of water, the resources here are abundant. What is even better is that carrying firearms in the open is totally legal here. Living off the municipal grid has been a local tradition for centuries. You can build your house and drill a well however you want. Up north in the most remote areas, land is just over $1,000 per acre. It is practically a steal, but this place also has some fatal flaws. Winter temps can drop to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. The growing season for crops is a painfully short 3 months. You have to build greenhouses just to grow food. If you have a medical emergency, getting to a hospital is nearly impossible. But local survivalists say this is exactly Maine's greatest advantage. Extreme cold and blocked-off roads build a massive natural wall. When refugees from New York try to flee up here, the freezing wilderness will trap them. Number 8. Vermont, a true disaster-proof sanctuary. If natural disasters were a national competition, Vermont wouldn't even qualify to enter. Tucked deep inland, there are no hurricanes, no earthquakes, no volcanic eruptions. Even tornadoes are incredibly rare news. This is absolutely crucial for preppers who don't want their shelter ripped apart. It also boasts an insanely hardcore social structure. Locals still practice a centuries-old town meeting tradition. If the federal government collapses, this town-level autonomous system will maintain order. People will meet face-to-face to figure out how to survive together. Buying and carrying firearms here is completely unrestricted. 70% of the land is farmland and forest. As long as you have two hands, you won't starve. Remote land goes for 2 to 5 grand an acre. The only real pain point is that property taxes are brutally high. Plus, the state is so small, there is a ceiling on large-scale stockpiling. But being small has its perks. The whole state acts like a compact fortress. You'll notice any trouble heading your way the second it happens. Number 7. Wyoming, a vast, isolated heartland. If you desperately crave privacy, this is the number one choice in America. Nearly 100,000 square miles with less than 600,000 people. That averages out to just 6 people per square mile. You step out your front door, and your closest neighbor might be on the other side of the mountain. You can't buy that kind of extreme privacy anywhere else. No matter how much cash you drop, gun freedom here is top tier in the nation. Even sweeter, there is zero state income tax. Every penny you make stays entirely in your pocket. The state's reserves of oil, natural gas, and coal are staggering. Even if global supply chains shatter, the energy here is enough to power a small country. Remote land prices are so cheap, it is unbelievable. $500 gets you an acre of untouched wilderness. Yeah, you heard that right. For the price of a smartphone, you can own your very own territory. But the brutal reality is, winters here are bone-chillingly cold. Wind chills can plummet to -40. Expose your skin for a few minutes, and you're looking at severe frostbite. The growing season is a pitiful 60 days. You need to be a master of greenhouse gardening to stay alive. Plus, the water supply is extremely uneven. Buy the wrong plot, and you're stuck with a dead wasteland. Not to mention, you're sitting right on top of the Yellowstone supervolcano ticking time bomb. Number 6. Montana, a literal Western defensive stronghold. If you don't want to fight out the apocalypse alone, this state has the most hardcore survival network in the country. The real trump card here isn't the terrain. It is the people. Over the last 30 years, America's most freedom-loving, self-sufficient, hardcore preppers have been flooding into this state. They've set up their own supply chains and built a community system that runs smoothly, even if the government falls. James Wesley Rawls, the famous author of the Doomsday Survival Guide, even designated this area as the core region for America's post-collapse rebuilding. You're not coming here to rough it in the wild. You're instantly joining a guild of max-level players. The water systems here are incredibly rich, so you'll never go thirsty. Waterfront mountain property out west runs $5,000 to $20,000 an acre. But because of the massive influx of wealthy Californians, prices in places like Bozeman have skyrocketed. For a secure survival setup, you have to head to the remote Bitterroot Valley. Don't forget that wildfires are a frequent threat in these forests, and you could run into a wild grizzly bear the second you step outside. One wrong move, and you go from hunter to prey. Number 5. Utah, a place where doomsday survival is baked right into their DNA. In other states, hoarding a year's worth of food makes you look crazy. In Utah, it is just standard procedure. There is a massive Mormon population here, and a strict church guideline is that every family must stockpile a year's supply of food. This isn't just a suggestion. It is their faith. So when the end times hit and the supply chain snaps, you're in the right place. While the rest of the country is violently looting supermarkets, Folks in Utah will just calmly walk down to their basements. They have a social welfare system entirely independent of the government, with their own farms, their own canneries, and their own mega warehouses. They've even carved a climate-controlled Doomsday vault straight into a granite mountain, right outside Salt Lake City, built to withstand a direct nuclear strike. You won't find this kind of insane cohesion among millions of people anywhere else on Earth. The mountainous terrain also serves as a flawless natural defensive barrier. Suburban land prices range from $2,000 to $5,000 an acre, but its fatal flaw is painfully obvious. It is the water. The Great Salt Lake's water levels are plummeting fast, and the desertification spreads wider every single year. The impending water crisis is a landmine waiting to go off. Furthermore, a nuke is highly likely to target Salt Lake City first. If you live here, you have to stay extremely far out. Number 4. The Missouri Ozarks, an unrestricted paradise of freedom. This place has a trump card that will blow your mind. There are practically zero land zoning laws here. This isn't a legal loophole. It is absolute freedom explicitly written into law. Once you buy the land, you can build whatever kind of house you want. No permits required, no government inspections, and absolutely no one forcing you to tie into the municipal power grid. This means you can secretly dig an ultra-luxurious doomsday bunker underground, and there won't be a single construction record in the official system. When society collapses, staying invisible is the ultimate survival skill. The geography here is basically a gift from God. The mountains hide over 6,000 natural limestone caves. You don't even have to dig. You already have ready-made, rock-solid shelters. These caves are warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and can even block radiation. With natural mountain springs and creeks everywhere, you'll never have to worry about water. Waterfront property goes for just $1,500 to $4,000 an acre. For under $100,000, you can buy a massive 50-acre estate complete with a mountain spring and a cave. You couldn't even buy a bathroom in California for that price. But that cheap price tag comes with a catch. It sits right on the edge of Tornado Alley. Plus, the crime vibe in certain areas can be pretty complex. You need to know exactly who your neighbors are before you move in. On top of that, good luck finding a job locally. You must have passive income or a remote gig to survive out here. Number 3. The Arkansas Ozarks, a hardcore heritage passed down through generations. The mountains here connect directly with Missouri, offering the same caves, springs, and dense forests. But Arkansas takes the win when it comes to climate. The crop growing season here lasts well over 200 days. That is a good half year, longer than Maine. The food you grow will be enough to keep your entire extended family completely full. What is even more formidable is the local culture. The folks here aren't your typical keyboard preppers, ordering MRS online. They are true mountain hunters, living off the land for generations. Hunting, curing meat, and hoarding food is an instinct carved straight into their bones. When the world turns upside down, and city workers are starving, these mountain folks won't even need to transition into survival mode. They'll live extremely comfortably, just running on pure instinct. The laws here are relaxed, and the locals heavily respect self-reliance. Prime riverfront property tops out at around $8,000 an acre. The value for your money is just ridiculously high. The downside, again, is the tornado risk combined with a suffocating summer. Plus, internet service in remote areas is honestly awful. City folks used to gigabit speeds will absolutely lose their minds. Number 2. Tennessee, a perfectly balanced sanctuary. If other states represent the extremes, Tennessee is the ultimate all-rounder. The climate isn't too hot or too cold. The population isn't too dense. This golden mean is actually the optimal solution for long-term survival. You get 4 distinct seasons here, which is decent enough. The winter chill is perfect for killing off pests and cold storing crops, while summer temperatures are flawless for your agriculture. The water volume in the Tennessee River is just mind-boggling. While the West Coast goes to war over a trickle of water, people here wouldn't even bat an eye at the shortage. Legal protections here are ironclad, with no nasty state income tax. Building your own home comes with zero government interference. But the coolest part is the geography, those towering Appalachian Mountains. They serve as a natural defensive wall for the entire region. The Central Plateau offers highly defensible terrain, if you need it. The state has practically zero critical strategic military installations, meaning it is sitting way at the bottom of any nuclear target list. Setting up camp in this state is all about ultimate stability. Land in the Plateau region is only 3 to 6 grand an acre. The only catch is that the capital, Nashville, is expanding like crazy. Urban populations are pouring backward into the countryside. If you want absolute peace, you have to push deep into the woods. Number 1. Idaho, the undisputed high throne of doomsday survival. As far back as 14 years ago, the experts ran the simulations. They crowned Idaho as the absolute core for post-collapse rebuilding. This wasn't just on paper, it was a genuine movement. Over the last decade, 60,000 professional preppers moved here. They are turning that old theory into a functioning reality. It has the highest density of self-sufficient communities in the US. When you move here, you aren't just pioneering the frontier. You are immediately plugging into a hardcore lifestyle with infrastructure. The water supply is already secured by massive, endless rivers. And thanks to the volcanic terrain, the soil here is incredibly rich. They grow the best potatoes in America, so you never have to worry about starving. Gun laws here are as free as they get, with independence and self-reliance baked right into everyone's soul. But because it is so famous now, a massive influx of hot money is pouring in. Land even slightly close to small towns has already been bid up to $15,000 an acre. And the prices just keep surging, while winters in the north are brutally cold, accompanied by the constant threat of forest fires. But even so, Idaho remains the most perfect doomsday fortress in America. Here, the flame of human civilization will absolutely never burn out.